Welcome back to REconnect, a podcast where I'll be interviewing small business owners, entrepreneurs, and many more as we connect, learn, and grow together. Join us as I reconnect with Amanda, the owner of Soul Boutique. Amanda, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Sean. I appreciate it.
Of course. How was your day today?
It's been beautiful. Beautiful Monday morning right after the Heritage Festival weekend. So
Absolutely.
got the kids back to school, getting back to the regular routine, which I'm thankful for.
Right after summer?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's actually a
So-
very thankful thing. It's like you look forward to summer, but then it's nice to have it just the regular routine. But
Absolutely.
yeah, very productive.
Good.
Thankful to be here. Thankful for you to have me here.
Oh, of course. Thank you, Amanda. Pleasure to have you on. And I guess we'll get started right into it then.
Yeah.
All right. So you opened Soul in 2021 towards the tail end of COVID. So I want you to bring the audience back a bit before COVID, maybe right at the start of COVID. What was going through your mind? What were you doing? Let everybody know.
Good question. So, worked at the REconnect dealership as a finance manager, and so COVID happened, and prior to that, just automotive industry strong. Being a finance manager, we signed vehicle deals. So when we shut down, I was already actively working on the business, and so that allotted me some time as I was at home with my children. But it really helped me come to the realization that, I didn't need all of the financial that I was bringing in, and that the
Gotcha.
sacrifice for my time with my children
Right.
wasn't worth the financial gains. So what I learned, not only budgeting, but just the value of time, making memories, being with my children was very, very important. So with that, I started honing my craft, researching, connecting, and really finding myself in that as well. So listening to my authentic self. And I think that's another thing that I experienced during COVID time was just slowing down. So I could hear myself
Right.
think and have those thought processes continue and the brainstorming. So it was a beautiful, probably the best 2 months of my life being at home with my children.
Oh,
And so I was able to be a mom.
absolutely.
And, make 3 meals and house very clean and projects with the children and baking, and it was just like the best time of my life. So that kind of was the catalyst of like the aha moment. Like, yeah, Amanda, you can do this. You can open your business. Go ahead, bet on
Gotcha.
yourself.
Right.
And just also, when I reconnected with myself, I was able to hear my intuition and finding the connective people with that. So,
Right.
yeah.
So you were working on your business already before COVID started then?
Well,
Or like right kind of when it all started?
actually, it's been a thought in my mind for probably the past 10, I'd say 10 years.
Yeah.
And so it was like a book that just fell off the bookshelf
Right.
and kept hitting me ahead like, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do this. And then additional things happening in my life. It's like affirming like I was supposed to do this. So with that being stated, I was like, yeah. So, and also I got really hungry. And like I was yearning for something and I couldn't figure out what it was, and I wasn't fulfilled with what I was doing, and so my satisfaction in
Right.
life was not complete. So with that, just started being honest with myself. So when I talk about being your authentic self, like quieting the outside noise, listening, meditating, paying attention to those signs that come to you as, I guess, when you're on the right path, right?
Right.
You know, those little God winks. And
Absolutely. I was just going to get into that a little bit because I had that experience after COVID. I woke up one day and same thing, kind of like something's missing. I feel a bit unfulfilled, but I'm doing what I like to do,
Yes.
but something was missing. And I think it was just kind of like that, like you said, just like that free spirit. You're just wanted to go do something different and get after it and make it your own.
Yes.
And I did the same thing. I kind of blocked out everybody for about a whole year and just took a whole year to work on myself, trust myself. And then here we are today with REconnect and, meeting you with Soul, and so all right, bring us back to 2021 when you opened Soul. What the work that you put into this beautiful store, you and your dad, your family, I'm sure.
Yes.
How long did that take? Walk us through that.
So, another God wink. So, the gentleman that was my liaison for the Masonic Lodge, his name is Larry Rentz, and he's actually a retired BCI chemist.
Oh, nice.
And so Amy Reinhart had contacted me, and I had been looking for a place for about year and a half. And, in this process of growing myself in the right time, and I was very affirming, like, no's are not bad things. And I'm definitely embracive of that. Like, let me hear that, because I know, like, okay, I'll redirect, and it's okay.
Right.
So Amy contacted me, and I, in manifestation, in the law of attraction, just I had an ideal in my head as far as what I wanted. I had a vision board. But at this point in time, I also had the financial plan, the written plan. I had all the business aspects except for the space.
Right.
So I came and I visited this place 4 or 5 times with my cousin, with my dad and mom, and Larry. And I literally made myself pick up my phone on a day that I was off from the dealership, like, call this man and tell him what you want to do, and just put your hat in the ring. Was told no for different locations before, and that was all right because it wasn't the right space. So when I looked at this place, it was cement floors and white walls, but there was water fixtures in the back. And I had always envisioned a vanity area where people could try things out. So I was like, all the components that I need. I got 4 walls of it. I can get a sink.
Yeah.
So nonetheless, I called him, and he's like, so I told him what I was wanting to do. And he's like, well, kiddo, I know all about the benefits of CBD. I'm a retired chemist from the
Right.
Oh, so again, another God wink.
Sure.
As I'm taking notes, as I'm talking to this gentleman, my meeting was 9. So September 8th at 7 o'clock, 9/8/7. And I wrote it down just like that. And
No
I was
way.
like, yep.
That's the same day I got married.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
That was very good.
Yeah.
And so that's when I met with the board of trustees, and, I was ready. I came with a 13-page report, like written business plan, financial business plan,
Sure.
the layout of the store as far as metrics go and measurements, my vision board, and, my pitch to the community
Right.
as well. Terra Community College offers a really great program for starting businesses that I was able to connect with. The gentleman's name was Bill Oxter.
Gotcha.
And he's great as far as helping people start up their LLCs. They can do their tax ID numbers, register it with the state, even go on and do all of the financial things that you would need, such as workman's comp. All of those entities he can connect you with. So it's a really great service.
Was that a day or a week? Or?
Yeah, it was just a day course, but there was
Right.
also online access to all these different things.
Gotcha.
So what I ended up doing with Mr. Oxter was I wrote my written business plan, and then he's able to pull congruent businesses as far as their financial forecast based upon your investment and the
Right.
numbers that you have, theoretically speaking, or
Sure.
solidified already as you're starting your business. So then that can help with your financial projections.
Gotcha.
So that was a huge asset, and I would advise anyone to check that out. It's something that's every month, and it's actually
Right.
state supported. And he was a wealth of knowledge, and Terra Community College is actually a great asset that we
I think
do
there's
have
actually
in the community.
one.
Or Terra State College.
One
now.
this week. I think I got
Really?
a message for you.
How about you? Yeah, I would definitely advise
Yeah.
you to go, because I did my LLC at the lawyer's office, but then I was able to do my DBA with Bill, and it saved me
Right.
quite a bit of money, which was great. And also it was me taking ownership of my business. And that was kind of, a serendipitous time, click yes
Right.
and, pay the
For
fee,
sure.
and it was great.
Yeah.
So that was really a positive experience in regards to that. So it was kind of like after I secured the space, then we started working on it. And I opened up April 19th of 2021, so 419, the area code.
That's
But-
pretty cool.
But then with me being in the CBD and hemp industry, you know
Sure.
what the next day is.
Sure do.
So that will always be my anniversary, which I
Yeah.
love, which is super dope too.
Right.
So nonetheless, it was just a matter of people coming together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So collaborate. It sounds a bit like you're about to lead into our next segment here, which is collaboration.
Yeah, actually.
I mean, you were already collaborating with a few folks to get the space, to get your business plan together, to
Oh.
get the space around, with your family, and I'm sure this local support of the community and things like that. So talk to us a little bit more.
Definitely. So collaboration and hugely. So let's go back to my roots.
Okay.
My mom has a huge family of 15, and my dad's from a family of 11.
Yeah.
Many hands make light work. And I saw that from my grandparents and their teaching with their children. I've seen my mom's side of the family build a whole entire garage with attic, drywall, and finished in one weekend. So with that, I already understand. I am one person, but I had so many blessings of people and time that came into this, and so much good energy from, Mike and Jeannie Fisher doing this mural on the wall, to my cousin who did the countertops. So we got the live wood edge, which Brett Herrick from Perfectly Repurposed, I will give a plug there because I love him, and he's fabulous.
Yeah.
And he also owns the axe throwing business in the axe in Fostoria. So
nice.
he won the the Fostoria Chamber of Commerce contest for that. So
very
very
nice.
proud of them for that.
They did great work.
Yeah,
so.
he's absolutely amazing. Obviously, my dad. So he had just retired. And again, busy hands are happy hands. So it was, I think, a hobby for him. We'll say it's a hobby, Dad. Sorry. I'd like to view it as that.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, when I have a project, as long as I can draw it out and describe it properly to him, he can make it happen. He's a true fabricator, which is amazing to have on my team.
Absolutely.
So that's why the window stuff is always great. But then when we talk about working together, my children and I working together, not only establishing this business. So that was a huge thing when we talk about COVID.
Mm-hmm.
The kids listened to my business calls. I would have them on speakerphone and have them hearing me talk different products, different questions when it comes to establishing the business, but also taking them to different places, because what I wanted to do, this is Michael and Leola's legacy. Like, this is what I have to give to them for their future. So with that, I wanted them to feel familiar and be familiar with spaces now as youth, because I'm hopeful for what they can do in the future.
Right.
At the lawyer's office, they sat down at that boardroom table when I signed that LLC paperwork, and they asked those questions. Leola went through the warehouse, and she picked out product with me. And this gentleman, he ended up we found out that he was a trainer in the hair care product line. So with that, he had that coaching type of mentality, and he just lit up. And so Michael and Leola has also done the majority of the training, the product training that I have here at the shop, but also managing the different sales systems in the front and the back house, part of the house, I also found their different personalities and, different attributes, and learning how to magnify those types of things. But collaborating, when we talk business sense, that's a whole different level of things in our community, and Tiffin is wonderful for that. We have so many great entrepreneurs that always say yes to other individuals. I want to promote my people.
Yeah.
We gain strength, we gain momentum when we work together. So when we talk about that, when I get to say yes to someone, that just gives me energy and my business energy and power, but also we want to promote each other.
Sure.
What does Chris say? Rising tides.
I don't know.
Race ships.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we all race together.
That's right.
Yeah. And I believe that. And when he said it the first time to me, I kind of got goosebumps because he's like, that's my people. And that's, remember when I was telling you about becoming authentically myself?
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding the people that are like me.
Yeah, isn't it fun?
It's dynamic. I
That's
tell
like
you.
one of my favorite part, like you said, you get like all the no's, but then it's just like a bit more empowering to go find the next person, and then you do find that person, and then you're like, hey, we have this in common. We have this in common. We have this in common. It's like that's weird. Maybe it's just meant to be.
Did we just become best friends?
Exactly.
And that's kind of how it felt when I
Yeah.
sat down, when you came in and, you were working for TSEP and just doing,
Sure.
Standard interview, the connection on a totally different level. And that's really what I'm appreciative about with both you and Chris and the people that are starting to be a part of my life in this village that I've created. It's powerful and it feels good. And we don't have to work hard at things. It's really easy. Even just us setting this up, that was pleasurable. Like that was neat for me to watch you guys.
It out
Yeah. And that's what we want to do. We want to go with ease. Like when you force something, that's when it's, fake and you have to make it it just doesn't feel comfortable.
It doesn't.
I think that's what it is. But when we find the right people and we're in the right direction, naturally we're going to gain momentum.
Yep.
We're going to gain energy, wavelength, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to refer to. But yeah. And with that, I can give gratitude. People have opened doors for me that I didn't even know were going to be opened. And that's where I feel like collaborating has been hugely beneficial to me, helping me be in places that I wouldn't have been unless someone said yes to me and gave me that opportunity, which is a blessing, right?
Yeah. We
We
wouldn't be here today if you didn't say yes.
Truly, yeah, right. But in the right time, and when you were ready, when I was ready, when he was ready, when our community is ready for us, we'll be able to serve in a greater way together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that that's really important too, is serving. Because when we work together and serve others, the ripple effect that happens. And that's where collaboration, it gets to make a big cannonball type of shaking up. Like,
absolutely.
This is what we want to do, and it can be good, and it can water a lot of flowers.
Absolutely.
And fertile ground.
And when we come together and as a strong community, and we are collaborating and we're working with each other, and say we're not going to work with everybody, but those people are going to also find the people that they want to work with, and all around it just strengthens not only our community, like other people are doing this too. And I think that's a large part of why I kind of wanted to start REconnect, is like, what was I doing for, I think I talked in the last podcast about it too, is like, what am I doing for the community? What am I, who am I serving outside of business and family and friends and things like that? And I took a hard look, and I was out, buying from the businesses and things like that, but I wasn't really giving back. And so when I came up with this idea of reconnecting a community, like, what better way to do it than work with the business owners in town and the entrepreneurs? Like you said, this town is filled with like young entrepreneurs that are hungry just like you and I. And so why not have, a podcast and a networking event that we can, promote these individuals? Because, like downtowns are, one, we're a small town. And then two, like our downtown area is so vital to support, a single mother. These small businesses downtown that, you're not getting stuff from Walmart. You also are using, vendors from Ohio.
Yes.
So, yeah. So I don't know. It's an important piece, not only for REconnect, but an important thing to highlight in every community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, when you talk about that, I have 5 Ohio product lines in my shop in regards to CBD, and that's very, very important.
Right.
Me to support my business within And I really learned that also watching Bill and Dan Reineke and how they support their family, but then their dealership family, their community family, and how they can just pour out because of all of the collaboration and everybody
Right.
working together synergistically,
Yeah.
and then being able to serve on a greater level. But in thinking about how those dollars do stay to our community, it that was the first small business that I really worked for. I had majorly worked for corporate America.
Okay.
And that was another big thing, is seeing these gentlemen, Bill Sr., he had a dream. And in Fostoria, he had a car dealership and he had children, and he built a legacy for them. And he provided livelihoods for families and fathers and mothers to provide for their children, and their children having memories with that dealership family.
Mm-hmm.
When I started, Leola was 2 and Michael was 4 at the dealership, and these people have watched the children grow. Now they're 13 and 15, and they refer to those guys, those salesmen out there, as Uncle Gary and Uncle Sean,
Right.
because that's truly their uncle.
Yeah.
Brad Lonsway, I refer to him as my godfather because he was the facet that the Lord used to take me to the dealership, to give me that hard left and changing life. And all of that wouldn't have happened if people didn't, I guess, believe in me, but also be willing to take a chance on me,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Because that's where collaboration, we
Yeah.
have to have faith, and you have
Yep.
to be like, I see you, and I see what you can do, and I
Right.
believe in you.
Yeah.
Let's go get it.
Right.
Let's go get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I like working with people, and I like to see people in their passion too.
Yeah.
Like when we say yes, when we start getting
No
into
doubt.
it, it's like a good steak,
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
nice and juicy with the
Right.
Bloody Mary. That's all the fixins, and what else can you ask for? Because then we can build our table bigger.
Right.
We can make our table longer and bring more people, and then our ripple effect is even larger. And with love and light, it's only going to be good, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I lead everything, lead with trust, love, and vulnerability. I think, like you said, people are maybe a little bit more quick to judge, entrepreneurs that are going out and having to sell themselves or ask for things. It's not comfortable,
It's
not a comfortable thing to do,
It's
especially
not.
to a stranger.
Mhm.
If that stranger is receptive of what you're saying and is can kind of connect the dots and really give that opportunity to you, like you said, they're their ripple effect also helps people
Yes.
too. So I just want people to take that into consideration when younger entrepreneurs are coming to you asking you questions, help. Information's free nowadays. We can go out and find it, but it's nice for it to come from a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did hit a really good point, trusting an individual, especially in business. You got to find the right individuals to be able to trust, because, you got to keep them, a good group. And then when you have that good group, that's when you can make the good moves and you can feel solid. So you're not up at night worrying about things, but also that means trusting yourself.
I think that's a big key to it.
The
for
very
sure.
big key to it. And you got to bet on yourself before you can bet on anybody else.
Right, and you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it feels real good, doesn't it, when you walk out that door and you're like, yeah, that dude saw me, he heard me, and he's got my back too.
Absolutely.
That's dynamic, and that feels very affirming. I'm, again, another God wink. Yep, that was the dude that was supposed to be here. I missed you.
Right.
My soul recognizes your soul, and and I feel like more and more people are coming faster and faster into my life and connecting with me as I start gaining that energy too, right?
You already got the momentum. Now the ball's rolling.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. All of us.
Yeah,
all
for
of
sure.
Us,
We
all
are.
of us.
Absolutely.
And that's really beautiful to see. But also the people that we serve, how they feel that energy too.
Mm-hmm.
When I observed that REconnect event that you did, because I got to be a part of you guys talking about it and then seeing you formulate it,
Right.
and then actually seeing it put in place.
Sure.
So in the past month, I've been able to do that twice, where I've got to see something from baby, just words that were spoken.
Yeah.
People believing in each other, and they executed
Right.
it, and it happened. it was really cool to see the individuals that came down, because, we would say that, okay, that's our core group of people, right? Like,
Yeah.
but the way that it was connecting, it was a different type of it, where people were talking and being happy, but there were ideas that were exchanged that I feel were a higher level of talking than just the business itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think
Right.
that that's really cool, because then when we can get alignment there and the higher level of things,
Yeah.
the physical will always come, because we
Right.
already got the energy.
Yeah.
That's just, matter and solid.
Genuine human connection
Amen.
builds lasting relationships.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly believe. And that's where, like you said, the longevity,
Right.
the lasting relationships, because, well, the stronger we get, the more people we get, the better it's going to be and the stronger it'll
Yeah.
be. But we have a solid foundation
Exactly.
already.
Right.
So, yeah. But honesty,
Yeah.
being loyal,
Yep.
being loving,
Absolutely.
being good. And
we can serve our communities in all different facets.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So talk us a little bit, the Unity for Community. I helped you set up an event a few weeks ago. Woke up at 6 a.m. to come out and help you, thank you for the opportunity. It was great. We were done in like an hour and 15 minutes. So
execution.
yeah,
Many
we
hands
got
make light work.
got the shit
right?
done quick.
Man, dude. So, yeah. Okay. So, let's talk about that day that you worked, and then I'll tell you about the Unity for Community.
Okay.
So, the Unity for Community we had a garage sale. It was a sidewalk garage sale. So when we talk about gaining momentum and doing things in goodness, we had a garage sale, and we asked for donations.
Mm-hmm.
We, first off, the Masons of Lodge 77 opened their doors to us and let us house all of the donations in their ballroom. Thank you very much. They believed in us, and they believed in our idea.
They're probably taking a bit back all the stuff that you got too.
The gentlemen were astounded.
Yeah.
The ballroom was 2/3 of the way full.
Yeah.
The community came out, and we had 3 car full loads that didn't even make it to the ballroom.
Oh, wow.
So when we talk about collaboration, I can cite the Freemasons. I can cite Reclaim It for giving us fixtures. We can cite the United Church for donating all of that whole entire room. The community, the people coming in, they were just coming through the doors with bags and boxes and just tons. It was overflowing. But that's what it was. It was abundance.
Right.
It was abundance, Sean. And then I just, jokingly say, hey.
Yeah.
And it was even the day before.
It was.
But that Friday night, Sarah Scheiber, Aaron Kennedy, and I, and Rose, we had all, worked to get everything set up as much as we could, to the point where those heavy tables were at the doorway to be pulled out. And it was so execution, like all forces and all systems go.
Yeah.
And we just pulled those tables out, and all of the clothes were separated into the sizes. Everything was already cleaned as far as the houseware. The books were separated. I mean, that was a lot of work. But again, I knew that the Lord was going to give us that energy, that the Lord was going to sustain us, but also we're serving Him.
Right.
So it's always going to come and it's going to come bigger than what you ever imagined, because we had both sides of the sidewalk filled. And when we talk about gaining energy, it was so beautiful because we did it by donation base.
Right.
So there were people that paid $20 for 2 shirts. We had moms that got like four or 5 bags of stuff for a couple dollars. We had people getting, setting up their new homes because they're international students that are in our community now.
Right.
And that was their first welcoming that they had, was people being able to help them establish themselves to further themselves in their college study. And they even said, it was like, oh, what a great welcoming to community. And here we are sharing the love and the light. And I tell you, that sidewalk, it was like shoulder to shoulder with people through the day. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So it was like things that I dreamed about, things that I prayed for, because it was like all that activity. But it was glowing. it was so much goodness and so much happiness and so much love, and the giving and just the synergy of it all was just absolutely beautiful. So ultimately, we raised almost $2,000
Nice.
for our Fund for Unity for Community on that day. So there's that. But the Unity for Community, I had done a pop-up at Active Nutrition. It's the old Body Works behind the Ace Hardware here in Tiffin.
Yeah.
And Sarah and Erin was there as well. She said, I've been thinking about something. I was thinking about shoes for our children, you know. Well, as we started talking about it, and the next day we come to find out there was a gap in support in our community. And shoes, they provide a lot of things, support just in physically, a child growing, status, the ability when it comes to sports to even participate. Our Sentinel students, with the vocational, the needs that they need for their course of study. And so we were just able to fill that gap. And what it is it's all of Seneca County, grades pre-K through 12. But the best part that I love is that there's no income basis. So everybody is welcome. Everybody is loved. Everybody is supported. And, working moms and dads, $100 pairs of shoes for a child can make a substantial difference in a budget, especially now.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
what we've done is our goal is 100 pairs of shoes, but this is also an ongoing initiative where, say, right now, currently, we have 42 families that we've supported, but our goal is 100 shoes. So say, for example, in November, John needs a new pair of shoes. Within 2 days, he gets a new pair of shoes.
Oh, wow.
Also, we are we're filtering the business to our local shoe stores, Keebler Shoes, as well as Shoe Sensation. So I think that it's important, again, keeping our money local, right? We're keeping it going and supporting the people that are supporting us, right? So those two entities have been hugely amazing. So again, collaboration.
Yeah.
But then also the United Way. So the United Way is our nonprofit portion. They welcomed us and opened the door and gave us the ability to funnel our monies through them. So that's our 501c3, which is great. Another positive is they actually, in good negotiation, they're not taking any fees. So all of the proceeds go to the Unity for Community.
Nice.
The girls and I are donating our time and our services back to them. So again, collaborating, serving on a larger way. But again, that's another door that was open to be able to serve, right?
Absolutely.
What a blessing in that. So that's super cool. But
so before we get too far, how do people, do they contact Unity for Community for the shoes? How does that work?
Yeah. So there's a questionnaire that we have. So the email address is Unity for Community, Unity for the number 4 community Tiffin @gmail.com.
Okay.
And there's also an online survey. So it'll be like, my child is age this to this, because there's different allotments based upon the ages of the children. So say, for example, our pre-K through 2nd grade is like $40. Second grade through, I think it's 6th grade, is like $60 to $70. But our high school kids, you guys, we can go upwards to $120. So I really love that. What I think about is like our vocational students, like Sentinel, our guys that need steel-toed boots or carpentry boots, or specialty
boots,
yes,
for sure.
Because those are expensive.
Yeah.
But also we want them to sustain for our children too, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can pick up a cheap pair of work boots from Walmart, but they might be toast in 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, depending on how much work they're doing.
Truly.
And a good work boot does cost around $100-$120.
It really, really does.
Yeah.
And that was one thing we priced out different entities before we made that decision. You have to be educated and you have to, have your information. We were going and talking to different entities as far as support, you got to know your stuff, right?
Sure.
You come to the table correct. Like,
Yeah.
this is what we're doing. Like, we're good
Yeah,
ladies. We're smart
right.
business women. We can, come on.
Yeah.
But realistically speaking, that's needed. But also our athletes, say, for example, a pair of basketball shoes is not cheap.
Yeah.
We want to support everyone because that's what unity brings, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter, your creed. It doesn't matter
Your age or
anything.
right.
Well, it kind of does because you got to be in high school or
Okay.
school.
Well,
Okay.
for the shoe thing, but overall,
Yes,
arching
everybody.
Unity
Mm-hmm.
is everybody.
Exactly. So, and it's been beautiful. It's been so good. The families have came into the shop and gotten vouchers, and then they take them to the shoe store, and these children are excited.
Like, we're going shoe shopping today.
And I tell you what, if they have money left over from buying the shoes, they can buy socks, which I think is another important thing because, there's that. We will eventually be buying boots for children if there's a need. So this is an ongoing thing, but they feel excited. I remember my brothers when they got their shoes, like the light up shoes, and they can run really fast because of those light up shoes,
For sure. Lightning fast.
Yeah, so just promoting our children, supporting them,
Right.
like literally and figuratively.
Right.
But yeah, what a blessing to be
That's
able
awesome.
to do. Yeah.
That's great work too. A
Thank
huge
you.
impact. I mean, Tiffin alone has a large need for your service of that, specifically helping the children in the local area. So, I don't even know how many schools we have, but I know it's over like a dozen probably in town here.
Yeah, and that was another thing that was important, not just do Tiffin, because again, we want to create the ripple effect.
Right.
Seneca County, who's to say how big we can get and how big we can serve?
Right.
Because again, synergistically, we're going to gain momentum.
Yep.
It's too good not to. We were blessed to abundantly the first time around for the garage sale. And that was just 3 ladies saying, hey, we're about to do
we have this idea.
Like,
Let's execute it on it. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So we know that we're supposed to do more and that we can do more. It was already shown. And there's people that have already asked us to do another garage sale. So
Good.
I know that that's going to happen. I need a little bit of rest between
Right.
the time. I was a little tired. But, the Lord will always sustain me
Absolutely.
when it comes to that. So, yeah.
And you'll rest and then come back more energized and ready for the next one.
Well,
So.
I had enough energy. And also, that's the thing when you say connecting. I was able to ask you, yo, bro, oh,
You want to wake up
I
at...
know your dog's going to wake you up early. And then my dude, Chris, he shows up and it's the heat of the afternoon, evening.
Yeah.
And he, helped my ladies, move that stuff in. And it was just like, man, I love you and I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah.
It's just, so beautiful. And it's like, whistle while you work. It's just a pleasure, it's a delight.
When I'm happy and energetic, I do whistle.
Yes.
And it was funny, I used to work for Tiffin University as the director of security, right? And it was one of my last meetings with everybody. And Ellen Lucius, I worked under her for a while. She was like, "Are you whistling? I've never heard you whistle." And I was like, "I'm just having a good old little day today."
That is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so good. You know what? While you were saying that, I think someone was walking past and whistling.
Oh yeah.
That's super cool.
Maybe it was your son getting back from practice. You're good. All right. So where do you guys have a Facebook page for Unity for Community, an Instagram, a website or anything, or is it attached to anything?
Good question. Thank you for asking about
course.
that. So we have a Facebook page, Unity for Community Tiffin. And then there's actually a landing site for Square as well, where you can donate online through the Square system that's associated with the United Way. So what a blessing to be able to do that.
Sure.
But yeah, thank you for asking about that too. So those are the entities that we have established now. Who knows? Maybe we'll become our own nonprofit. I foresee other fundraisers, not just the garage sale, but the door's always open and willing to grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for asking about that.
Of course.
Sean.
And then where can everybody find you at Soul Boutique? Where are you located?
Thank you. So Soul Boutique is located at 181 South Washington Street. We are in the Masonic Lodge, right across from Washington Street Outfitters, and in between Bim and Henry and Ed Henley's State Farm.
Awesome.
Yes.
And you have, I believe, a Facebook page and an Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
You've been posting a lot of new content out on Instagram.
Yeah.
Love to see it, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. And, it really is cool. And I think this endeavor, as far as us supporting each other when it comes to working social media, is going to be hugely beneficial. So my Instagram is Soul Boutique. And then the Facebook is Soul Boutique Tiffin. So getting out there on social media, word of mouth is really great here locally, but when we want to do big ripples and that.
Right.
Plus, Instagram, it's artistic, it's beautiful, and I like seeing people.
And you got like a very boutique shop. Like you can really get some good pictures in here. It is like gorgeous. And everything's very like neat and has its own spot. And it's like if you were to come in and, like buy the creams regularly, you go in and you know exactly where it is. And then you'll be like, here, try this or, whatever.
Yeah, you're right.
Get little samples while you're in. And it's very just like welcoming and relaxed. And I mean, when I first walked in, I was like, I just want something to drink. It's hot outside. It's like, hey, what do you want? I got all sorts of drinks.
I got those things. Yes. And that was, part of my vision, especially being in the industry. I mean, CBD is cannabis, but I didn't want my community to look over their shoulder as they walk through my door.
Right.
I wanted this to be a destination. I wanted this to be village-like. Like, come, take the weight off.
Right.
Help me, I will help you carry the load, however I can. So with that, I wanted it to aesthetically pleasing, smells good, all the things, right? Feels good.
Right.
I hope that you feel my prayers as you walk through the door. I got the selenite over the doorway, the black tourmaline, dogs. They just, when I leave the door open, they just gravitate.
Yeah, when I was here one time, the owner was like, get back here.
And that speaks volumes. It's a good feeling.
Right.
And I wanted to put this together, and it's a gift to me to do this, but it's a gift to my community.
Right.
I wanted it to be beautiful, and I want to be a positive reflection of Tiffin, Ohio. And if someone comes from an outside town, that they see this place and like, ooh, it's really nice. But I'm that girl where I can align myself with everybody. Mm-hmm. So that's another cool thing. Like, this is the space, right? That's why the bar's there. That's why the wingback chairs are there. That's why we have the refrigerator that I've already had to buy a larger one because of the growth. Which is super dope. But who doesn't like a pretty place, right?
It smells nice. I mean, that's win-win for me.
So as far as Brent, with the live wood edge, the masculine, and then Cassie from White Birch Gifting and Antiques, she did my fixtures, the majority of them, and I had done business with her for the past 8 years. And she was a woman. She went out on her own. She left the pharmaceutical sales, and she started doing the repurposing of the products. Nice. And she was like one of my guiding lights. Like, as I'm growing, I'm like, just believe in Cassie. Just believe like Cassie, like all that, right? And then, it just, So she had to be a part of this space. Brent had to be a part of this space. His dad, who's now passed, is my godfather. So again, he needed to be a part of this space. Like, so many entities needed to be this. And then with that, they're here with me, and they get to give love to everybody, you know, and that's really special too.
Very meaningful.
Now, there's a lot of different layers and a lot of different meanings in this space, but that's when I guess it's a heavier type of thing. Makes a statement.
For sure. Well, I appreciate you peeling back the onion and exposing all those different layers and how you got here today and where you started. And it was a great pleasure to have you on as a second attendee, or I don't know. You're not really an interviewee, but on a podcast. So
I just get to be
maybe.
the second person, following up after Chris, but all the things that are to come.
Yeah.
Because you just added another one under your belt.
I know.
So that's another part of it.
And there's more to come.
Yes.
Way more.
Well,
so.
also we're going to do more of these, I feel, because we're going to
sure.
have a lot to talk about here in the future.
Absolutely.
In the close future as well as the far future.
Yeah.
But you always have my support.
Well, yeah, and I do have your support because the next networking event for REconnect is actually going to be here.
That was a good segue.
It was a good segue, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm super excited about this too, especially with the idea that we had as far as it being just a really nice time to be able to come together. And that was, you started it, the catalyst at the lab. Again, dynamic individuals, love those guys there. Yeah. Love the people we had, like the Sisters in Shelter, again, another nonprofit that we've talked about that we want to support.
Yep.
But yeah, so here we're going to do a sit down kind of.
Yeah, a bit more intimate setting, a little like round table-esque maybe. And everybody will have a little bit of a treat bag maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be talking to my different people, but yeah, Mama Bird's going to bring it together.
Yeah, don't give away too many details before we.
I'm really excited about it actually, because I like doing that kind of stuff. So plus it's my stuff. So yeah,
absolutely.
But when you can give abundantly, you always do.
Yeah.
And it's the yummy stuff in it, so it'll always help, and it'll be great. Lots of things.
Absolutely.
But I'm really appreciative, again, of you letting me do that and letting me be a part of that. Like, for real. It's a true honor. It's something that I've been envisioning. Yeah. Same thing with this. Oh, God, you're like, so many boxes that were checked, like.
For sure.
Oh, my dude. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But this is going to be great. And the next, what did you call it? Round table?
Yeah, like a round. I said round table-esque.
Put your sword on the table.
Yeah.
No.
Well, let's come together, collaborate, and find the needs of our communities, and
that's what it is.
Bring solutions.
There it is.
So
there it is. The solution-based people, and that's what all three of us are. Solution-based people, which is very, very important to serving on the higher power, but also making it happen. Right.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Amanda.
Thank you for having me.
Always a great time talking to you.
Likewise. Thank you very much, Sean.
Of course.
Thank you for blessing me.
Of course. Take care. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of REconnect. I hope you enjoyed this insightful conversation with Amanda Bird from Soul Boutique. Stay tuned for more insightful conversations, and until next time, keep forging your path ahead of discovery and success. Thank you, and take care.